Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look here at Solana, seeing what's going on. We're going to talk about the macro and of course work our way down, kind of see where we're at. We'll also refresh our charts here and jump right into the liquidation data because again, we got some massive liquidations here recently, but there's probably going to be some late longs or shorts. We'll double check that. But once again, $91 was a heavy concentration of liquidation that occurred yesterday. Of course, I don't think anybody expected Bitcoin to drop that hard that fast. Again, almost a 10% correction in a 24-hour period. It's quite substantial. It's more so a buy the rumor, sell the news situation. ETF hit, and then price just dumps from there. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the 12-hour, kind of see where we're at with the most recent liquidation level. So we can kind of see that there's a lot more shorts than longs in the market right now, and they're all hedged right at about that $94 mark. So 93.50 upwards of 94. So there could be a pretty strong chance that those levels getting swept again. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the price going up in the short term and then potentially pulling back to like that 39,300 mark for Bitcoin to fill the CME gap. That's still a possibility. It's still on the cards. Do I subscribe to 30, 35,000? Not yet. We got to see where the price goes next first, but it would make sense for the price of Bitcoin to pull back. And again, coins like Solana will obviously do so as well. So you just want to be kind of prepared and ready for it. But again, as far as a short-term solution, I do think that there's a lot of reasons why the price will probably just we'll probably have a slight relief rally. Are we going to break this descending trend? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see here in a little bit. Either way, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, hope you can learn something here today. I love teaching people to trade, so if you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. You can come on over to our Discord and get to know our community. Awesome group there. Just a quick disclosure here, our trading bots are long here. We got an ETH long there, and then we got a Solana long here as well. So just keep in mind, the coins right now, my trading bots is expecting the coins to recover here in the immediate future. Again, that's a day trading bot, not necessarily a full-on solution. The price could continue lower, but generally speaking, we're scalping, little percents here and there, 1 to 2% movements in the market. Okay, so again, relief rally for the weekend makes a little bit of sense considering Bitcoin's probably going to go straight sideways for the most part this weekend until tomorrow when the Asian markets open up. But between now and then, again, I think Solana, we'll double check a few things, but I think it's safe to say that the price should stabilize and or continue to progress up a little bit. So daily time frame, let's talk about this here. In fact, why don't we do this here as well? Because I haven't shown this to you or worked you guys through this yet. Let's go to the monthly just to quickly double check a couple things because we want to kind of recognize a few key factors here. Stochastic RSI is trying to swing down, so we are extremely momentous to the upside, but again, with that stochastic swing, that does tell us the price action may shift in momentum, and we could see some further downside. Okay, again, that's just on the monthly. It's not like a definitive line in the sand. Everything else is truly bullish, so I wouldn't say it's a stark reality or anything crazy, but still something to pay attention to. Weekly gives us a similar scenario here as well, where stochastic is swinging down, money flow is coming down, and the same thing as well for RSI, kind of bouncing off that 70 mark. Now, I've talked about this previously. 70 on the RSI is typically a support level. And again, depends on the situation overall, but generally speaking, with us holding that level, and we, just say we don't go any lower than the $89, $90 mark, there's a decent chance we'll get that little bit of a bounce and the price could continue further up. The truth is, though, we're still above all moving averages on the weekly time frame too. So we got like 9 out of 10 reasons why the larger time frames are still telling us that we're in good shape. Again, there's extremely slow, extremely lagging indicators, if you will, and it's best not to presume the price will go in either direction based on those one things, but you can kind of see some larger movement situations on those time frames, so it's good to kind of recognize that. But when we look at the daily here, this is where we got a little bit more proof here. In other words, we got this descending trend line here based on candle wicks where the price action continues to work itself down with lower lows. We aren't seeing lower highs though, which is interesting. We're starting to see this little bit of I wouldn't say it's a wedge, but where the price action is kind of working itself tighter, if you will. Again, a lot of times with like Bollinger Bands, for example, the price compresses. You're due for a volatile breakout either up or down. It doesn't go in either direction at any time. It's not like specific on where it derived from. It really just depends on the overall circumstances and where the support and resistance levels lie. So we'll talk about that more in the future, but right now, generally speaking, the 20-day SMA, we're below that and we're above the 50. It's not a terrible place to be, but it's not great either. In other words, not great in the sense that we should expect the price just to continue to shoot up, but it's also decent in the sense that we're kind of bottoming out here and getting closer to our tentative bottom. Once more, it's not guaranteed. As we talked about previously, $80 is probably more likely than not going to be the bottom for this coin if it continues lower. That would probably be a good pivot point. We do see stochastic is telling us we're going to continue further down. We're now below 50 in the RSI as well in the daily, and the MACD is diverging. So it's not really a strong daily type of scenario here. Again, we look at smaller time frames to identify other trends, and the 4-hour I think is probably the best trend setter. And this is one thing we got to recognize. We're below all moving averages, all four. Not a fantastic look for any coin. Stochastic RSI is swinging up, kind of letting us know we have this shift in momentum. And when I was talking about the shift in momentum earlier, I was talking about, generally speaking, when you see money flow index getting closer to this $20 or 20 mark, it's a strong likelihood the price is going to recover from there. Again, mainly because we've seen the last 3 days straight, the price has been pulling back. That kind of speaks to what happens in threes in trading. And what I'm getting at here is, when you have three green days or 3 red days, it's typically followed by a reversal the day following. Okay, so my speculation here is we've seen 3 days of money flow index being extremely low, or money coming away from this coin. Money's due to come back into the coin, and in turn, the price should continue higher. Is it going to be a monumental, super shot straight up to the moon? Definitely not. Probably not even halfway there. It'll likely come up to the most recent local resistance and potentially reject from there. And what I mean by that here is we got this recent resistance at about 95. 95 would be a decent place for it to reject because that's the most recent low. Okay. Again, just something to kind of pay attention to. So if you're going to take a long, make it a tight long and continue to move your stop loss higher as you get into profit. That's even if the price goes up. Okay, there's no guarantees on that. 4-hour time frame is still looking fairly bearish. Okay, so just because I say that the money flow index is low and it's a decent pivot or a situation where the price should recover, doesn't mean it's going to. Okay, folks. Again, these are all just hypotheticals, and unfortunately, when you have a lot of these things kind of combining together, there's less probability of success. So me personally, when coins do this, I try not to trade them. Okay. Again, I always look for reasons not to take a trade, and that's just me personally. But if you have a similar circumstance yourself, then maybe you shouldn't take the trade if you see that everything's not looking great. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at here. Last but not least, Ichimoku Cloud. We can see we're confirming on the cloud here as well, whereas there's no bullish sign here at this point. We can summarize that we're in a situation where the lagging span soon intersect with the price action. So if you have a short position open, you may want to consider closing that or taking profit. Conversion line and the baseline are soon to intersect, and we're below the cloud. So the truth here is that we're not in a situation where we're going to be bullish whatsoever until we break above 95, yet alone 97. Okay, so this $95 to $97 range, getting above that would be optimal. So, and again, perfect world, price comes over here, and that's where we get in just above this previous resistance at about 95.50. Okay, again, it's kind of a mess, and most coins are looking the same way right now. They're all kind of in this little transitionary time frame. There's not a ton of confirmation to want to take a long. Granted, there's probably a few out there that are looking pretty strong. I just haven't seen them yet. But top 10, anything that's large market cap, they're all kind of structured the same right now. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Not a lot of buy signals or even sell signals at this point, just because it's massive overextension of the downside. So really, I wouldn't say this is optimal trading at all. Again, weekends are typically pretty good for altcoins, but at this point, I'm not really seeing a lot of signs that I want to take a trade here. What are your thoughts, though? Comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Love to hear it. Make sure you register for this trading competition coming up from the 15th through the 29th through Bitunix. It's our first official. It's a pretty big deal. Check that out in your own time. But link down below. You have to use my link to register first for this exchange. So if you've already done so, you're good to go. If you haven't, $5,500 in benefit rewards. No KYC, no VPN. That's the main reason why we use them. And they're just a really solid exchange. So check them out in your own time. We've got tons of walkthroughs in our Discord and or I guess you could say my YouTube. I got some videos there as well you can kind of reference here. I hope that you learned something today. Thanks again so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.